This episode of What About Pod brought to you by What About Pod t-shirts. We've heard the clamoring. We made some t-shirts. Go to whataboutpod.com, click on the t-shirt banner, and buy 7 of them. All right, 8.
I'm here. Let the bells ring out and the banners fly. Feast your eyes on me. It's too good to be true, but I'm here.
Recording live from the WAP studios. Welcome to What About Pod?
Oh, please, what is that? Don't tell me.
The podcast that turns something into nothing and further goes on about nothing.
Don't try and church it up, son.
I'm producer and resident doorstop Jay, along for the ride with your host, Chris Squires.
This is too much. I couldn't be more excited. The thought of it makes me pure completely mental, I must say.
Welcome to episode 30.
Welcome.
The big 3-0.
The big 3-0. Do we have some kind of a big extravaganza planned for this one?
We absolutely do. Ready? That's it.
That works for me.
It's good enough.
Strokes my ego.
It's an episode milestone and a birthday that women dread. Welcome to 30, ladies.
Welcome to 30, ladies. Yes. Hi. How are you?
So as you heard in the open, I'm pimping out What About Pod t-shirts. If you go to the website, whataboutpod.com, click on the little t-shirt banner, which is sitting right there on the front. It'll take you to Teespring, which is a really cool little service that allows you to print up kind of ad hoc t-shirts. You can design them, set a campaign, and if you hit a threshold of purchases, they will print up your t-shirts. Everyone's happy. So we got to hit 30 of them for this campaign. So get over there and buy yourself one. They're $15, and then the shipping is, I don't know, $3 or $4. So it's like, expect a drop of 20, and you'll get a kick-ass t-shirt.
The t-shirts will look really good on all you ladies that are under 30, which are all of you.
Yes.
Are under 30.
29 and holding.
29 and holding.
There was a guy on the AM radio when I was growing up. My mom used to listen when she took us to school or whatever. And they'd do the birthdays. People could call in and get their birthday on the radio. Happy birthday to Jasmine Sinclair. She's turning, usually it's the kids. She's turning 12 today. But the radio guy, if it was anyone over 30, would say 29 and holding.
If it was a woman.
Right. Yeah, the guy,
she was a woman.
I don't think any guys really called in the radio station to get there. The power of radio, the eroding power of terrestrial radio.
Oh, funny thing about that, because I served in the Air Force for a few years, I got a shout out from a local radio station here from a morning personality that I do some work for.
I know, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day, by the way.
Hey, thanks, man.
Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Thank you for serving in my place, sir.
I humbly bow in your presence.
Don't bow in mine.
It was a pleasure to serve, and I would do it again in a minute.
So, getting on to that, the mass sickness that's gone on here the last couple of weeks, that you're bowing at the porcelain god, from what I hear.
Oh, it was miserable. It was, for lack of a better term, projectile. I hope you don't have a visual personality, because if you do, then it's not very good. But,
everybody got that.
Yeah.
There's so many sick people.
Heard.
Our guest, who we initially thought we'd have in for 30, back when we thought we would record 30 like a week ago, got sick. Jay got sick. 4 people I work with got sick. All the same symptoms. I think everyone's out of the woods. Hopefully I didn't catch it. I don't think I did. If I did, I'm catching it way late. But as with most trends, that would be typically me.
Well, I've built up an immunity now, so
that's
you
good.
You can't kill me.
That's what the pop filters are for.
Right?
I sprayed them with some Lysol, so any spittle will be nicely cleansed on its way over to your side of the room.
Hey, you wipe them down every so often. It's quite all right.
Our production schedule got a little dicey.
Yes, it certainly did, and the sickness did throw me off. However, me and Chris did have a bit of a kerfuffle over
that.
Well, it would be more of a kerfuffle.
If we were women, it would be a lot worse.
I agree.
Yeah, we're just done. Guys, it's like 10 minutes, and then it's just on to the next thing.
Right. Well, long story short, we were set to record earlier in the week. We didn't, due to the fact that I dropped out of contact, and there were some, I wouldn't say hard feelings, just more like WTF moments. What the hell's wrong with you and all that.
Well, it wasn't what the hell's wrong with you, but
Right.
WTF, I think, would be a very fair way of putting it.
Absolutely. So everything more or less was thrown down by the sickness, or thrown off by the sickness.
Down with the sickness?
Totally. So in lieu of that, I felt compelled to issue an apology montage.
I'm sorry.
I still love you.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
Sorry.
That I was such a fool.
That's great.
I didn't know.
Sorry.
Love could be so cruel.
You complete.
Yes, you complete me.
That was outstanding.
Thank you.
The best cry ever. Just that sound needs to be. I don't know. We need to figure out a place for that sound every week.
Yes, we do. I can't even get through it all the way.
All right. Well, the apology you didn't need to give is definitely accepted. Holy shit, that was great.
Now I feel vindicated and cleansed.
Anytime that you feeling bad leads to like really good show content, I think you should feel bad way more often because that was awesome.
Thank you.
But good times ahead. While you were sick, I got together with what will be our senior food and wine correspondent. Her name is Danah Palmer.
There is no Dana. There is only Zool.
The only three people old enough to remember Ghostbusters and
just watched Ghostbusters,
and
kids.
Sigourney Weaver, right? So
That's right.
Danah was nice enough to sit down with me a couple days ago, and we did a 6-pack interview to get to know her better. You want to hear it?
Certainly.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Welcome to the What About Pod 6-pack interview. One interesting guest, 6 questions, infinite answers. Let's see who our guest is today.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Ah, yes, back for another edition of the What About Pod 6-pack interview. And luckily enough, we are happy to have along and we talked about this just a minute ago. We're going to call her our senior food and wine correspondent, Danah Palmer. Hi, Danah.
Hi.
Are you ready to do the 6-pack interview? Let's let people know more about you.
Yes, I completely am.
All right. So first question. When you meet someone for the first time, what do you want that person to think about you?
I want them to think that I'm damn funny because you never want someone to walk away and say, oh my gosh, she's so nice. Because usually guys use the phrase, oh, she's so nice to mean she is really friggin' ugly.
She has a great personality.
Exactly. Those are not good words to hear.
Fair enough. Yes, I agree. I get the great personality thing all the time. So, yeah, I feel
It actually means, yeah, it's like saying, why aren't they wearing a paper bag over their head? It's not good.
I try. Sometimes I run out of paper bags.
I get that. Only Trader Joe's gives them out now.
Plug for Trader Joe's.
Love it.
Question 2. What is true happiness?
Well, in my opinion, true happiness is very specific. It's kind of like being barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen minus the pregnant part. So it's being barefoot in the kitchen with a glass of wine, a good friend, and some really good food.
Yeah, I think if you get rid of the pregnancy, you can do the wine, but I'm not sure about vice versa.
It's kind of like having a baby in a bar. You can do it, but it's probably not recommended.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'm glad we're in agreement.
Absolutely. So on to question 3, which is, what's one thing you do differently than most people?
That's kind of a hard question for me, but I think it's probably singing, because I sing in the shower and in the car, and I do it differently. I just don't do it well.
How do you... So differently meaning just bad?
No, kind of more similar to like a death cry of like a dying cat.
Nice. Producer Jay does those like every other week. It's called the Karaoke Plot. You should check it out.
I definitely will. Thank you.
So on to question number 4. What will you not tolerate?
Bananas. I hate bananas more than life itself. I hate the texture. I hate the smell. I hate the taste.
Wow.
Bananas. They're disgusting.
I think that's probably the most definitive answer we've had so far to the what will you not tolerate question.
Yeah, no, I'm passionate about not liking bananas.
And we talked a little bit before this, just kind of get warmed up and get everything all the kinks worked out of the damn technology, for crying out loud.
Right.
So we did mention curse words. What is your favorite curse word?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's fuck.
Yeah, I get that a lot. One of these days I'll probably get interviewed on this. I don't know when. I have
Do you
interesting...
want me to ask a person of you?
No.
Oh.
I have to shroud some of this in secrecy. I can't bare my soul each and every week.
Fair enough.
You ready for the big question 6?
Yeah, I think so.
Who would win in a fight? Rachael Ray or Giada de Laurentiis?
Rachael Ray, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I don't disagree. She's got broad shoulders.
Yeah.
She
has a little more girth.
She's tanky.
And Giada would probably have a really mean headbutt, but I still think Rachael would take it in the end.
Heyo. Giada has a lot of teeth.
She does.
That would
I
be
guess she could probably bite well,
kind of the scariest part of it all. But I'm going to leave. Yes, I would agree that the barrel-chested, kind of stocky Rachael Ray would probably beat the crap out of Giada de Laurentiis. And that wraps up the 6-pack. So, Dana, you have a great moment in food history coming up, do you not?
I do.
Well, we will hear that shortly.
Great, thank you.
So that was our senior food and wine correspondent, Dana.
I'm so glad she didn't turn into a dog and run to Gozer to be his or her pet.
Oh, key master?
So Vince Clortho was the key master. Dana was the gatekeeper.
Dear Lord. So
and the food critic.
And yes, and clearly the train is beginning to leave the track. So you can find Dana at foodwinejourney.com. She will be up a little bit later in the show with her very first great moment in food history. But
I'm excited.
It's important to note that Dana's views on bananas do not necessarily reflect those of What About Pod or WAP Digital Media Incorporated.
Because What About Pod loves bananas.
That shit's bananas. Speaking of shit that's bananas, we have news.
Certainly.
From the news studios, it's the What About Pod News, starring Producer Jay, with commentary from the man himself, smartest man in the universe.
If the famed Hamburglar of McDonald's had Instagram or Reddit, I wonder if he would do what these knuckleheads did, all right? So check this out.
Rubble. Remember, like, the McDonald's playground? Like back when we were kids?
Yes, I do.
There was a little hamburger that you could get into the Mayor McCheese. Was it Mayor McCheese? Oh, Sheriff. Who was the
No, that was Mayor McCheese.
No, the dude that you crawled up the little thing, the little tube, right? And then you got into where the bars were.
Okay. Oh, that was the sheriff.
Sheriff Big Mac?
I don't know. I thought that was Mayor McCheese.
Mayor McCheese was the other guy. That was where the ball pit wound up. Hey-oh, more on balls later. I derailed the news. As you were.
4 guys that were suspected of stealing a car. They were arrested after they posted a picture of themselves with $120 worth of Carl's Jr. plug.
Ooh, nice.
Carl's Jr. fast food.
Have we done a McDonald's story?
I don't think we've done a McDonald's story.
That might be the one to complete the trilogy. We might need to get some hallelujah music for when that happens, because we've done Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr.
We've hit them all,
Burger
except
King,
McDonald's.
And maybe if you want to count
but
Subway.
This is Carl's Jr.
Oh, no, I'm just saying we're getting close to the to completing the circle here, and we need to be prepared for that. But
I absolutely agree.
Go ahead.
So here's how it went down. The guys purchased, like I said, $120 worth of Carl's Jr., right, which pretty much one of everything from the menu items.
Fair enough.
And then some. So what they did was, it was a takeout order, I think. One of the employees brought out the food to the guys, and what they did was they set up all the food on the trunk of the car and took a picture of themselves with the food.
So they stole this?
Here's where it gets interesting. Carl's Jr. manager took note of the license plates, so there was somebody staying at a nearby hotel that reported their car being stolen, and a credit card was missing.
Ah.
Yeah. Once you begin to put 2 and 2 together.
Or 60 and 60 together to make 120.
Or 12 here and 6 here and 36 there and whatever.
So
no math.
she did some sleuthing?
They did some sleuthing. Exactly.
Yes.
And they nabbed these guys right there.
Just the fries, ma'am.
Exactly. Yeah, so the way they got him, they officially got him, a restaurant employee took a picture of the receipt and posted it to Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a bad idea to be on social media as a criminal at all.
I think it's just a bad idea to be on social media and just take pictures of yourself eating food of any kind.
Maybe
taking pictures of your food or anything like that.
Maybe just bad to be on social media.
I never thought about that.
If you don't like us on Facebook, you should.
Because we're pretty damn funny.
Search What About Pod.
Sometimes.
Search What About Pod on Facebook and at What About Pod on Twitter.
And for the wrap-up message, one of the cops, while I smacked the crap out of the microphone.
And here comes the mic slapper.
Told a local news rag, sometimes technology acts in our favor. Sometimes it doesn't. This time it did. Ruminate on that, kids. Sit on it, Potsy.
Bum, bum. So what's next?
You can be sure this Chinese man didn't take to social media to post pictures of his severed leg he sawed off himself.
This is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. This guy, 47 years old, and he was already known as a local tough guy or what have you, but he had severe arterial thrombosis in his legs, and it was more or less threatening his life.
Right.
He was going to die. So
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to put my my doctor hat. You're welcome.
But
I'm going to put my doctor hat on and say that arterial thrombosis is blood clots. Arterial thrombosis may or may not be caused due to blood clots.
Cue crickets.
I probably should have WebMD'd this before we started, but
because WebMD is the ultimate authority.
Hell yes, I have typhoid fever with my symptoms every day.
I have the plague.
Yes,
I had the plague.
No, but I would think the thrombosis is based on a blood clot, and even if it is, well, I'm going to say it is. I'm going to go on a wild goose chase medical hunt, and say that arterial thrombosis is based on blood clots, which means if one of those were to break loose and get up into your brain, there's your stroke, and then you're probably close to dead.
Female doctors that are under 30, if you go to our website and order some T-shirts and also give us some medical advice.
Yes, please. Maybe we need a senior medical correspondent.
I'd say so. In her late 20s.
I might know a person. We'll have to see how that works.
Well, getting back to the story.
Sorry.
About a year or so before this happened, the guy began to experience pains in his stomach, and they quickly went down to his leg. So he went to several doctors, and they couldn't diagnose him before they eventually gave him an embolism diagnosis. In their eyes, they saw it was too late, so the doctors gave him 1 month to live because doctors, for whatever reason, love to give you exactly how long you have to live. So I don't understand that, but long story short.
Booyah.
Story short, he said, F this, took a saw, and just lopped off one of his legs. Now, here's what happened. In the process of giving himself surgery, he was biting so hard, obviously he didn't use any kind of anesthesia. He took a hacksaw, just sawed that thing just right down to the bone, bit off 4 of his teeth, and he broke the saw in half.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Wow. Well, the story's not all sweet. There's no happy ending yet. His leg is still infected, and kick the dog while he's down. His wife also has diabetes.
Diabetes. Well, we have a guy named Wilford who can probably offer some help with that.
Can he say diabetes in Chinese?
Dong Chao. Dude, I'm not joking.
All right.
Look it up. Google Translate. So, an embolism refers to the lodging of an embolus, which may be a blood clot. See, I'm not wrong.
Hey.
Well, I'm certainly not proven right, but I'm definitely not wrong. A blood clot, a fat globule, or a gas bubble in the bloodstream, which can cause blockage.
I'm guessing fat isn't PHAT.
I'm sure it's fat, but no. So it's probably a blood clot. I think I might have been not wrong.
You probably nailed it.
Yeah.
Female doctors under the age of 30, feel free to buy a T-shirt at our website and give us some medical advice. You could be
for the What About?
Senior medical consultant for the What About.
The pay is great. The benefits suck. But you just said that I nailed it.
You certainly nailed it.
Speaking of, doesn't that lead right into our next news story?
Why, certainly. For this riveting news story,
riveting.
We take you to Russia, where Russian police nailed a guy in Red Square for nailing his balls, or rather, not his balls per se, rather his ball sack, to a piece of the landmark's cobblestone road.
Now, wait. Being the medical authority on staff right now, I'm going to say that medically is known as the sack.
The sack. I agree.
I'll go
with that.
The saccus scrotorius, I believe, is the Latin term. Sorry. As you were.
A Russian performance artist was hospitalized after, he nailed his testicles to the communist landmark in Russia.
That's nuts.
You nailed it there, too. Good job.
This is just funny. This is super
very funny. But get a load of this. It's not the first time this guy has more or less mutilated himself in protest. So he previously sewed his lips together to demonstrate the jailing of 2 female members of the band Pussy Riot. They're a punk band who staged an anti-Kremlin performance inside the landmark back a couple years ago.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not it. He was also arrested for wrapping his body in barbed wire outside a building in St. Petersburg earlier this year. So this guy is not above mutilating himself to protest what he believes in. In this case, he was protesting the Kremlin's crackdown on political rights.
Got it. That's extreme. I wonder what you ever get out of that, right? Because, I mean, there's like Martin Luther King assembles millions of people and marches from Selma to Montgomery, and things slowly start to change. If you nail your balls to the cobblestone, it'd be interesting to see what happens in 6 months, a year, 7 years. Yakov nails himself to what was his name?
Peter. No lie. No lie. It's Peter.
You read through that so fast that you just blurted it out, and I don't even think you realized the repercussions.
Well, I didn't tell you the name until just then.
Well, yeah, at least we realized that he.
Well, it's spelled in the Russian vernacular of Pyotr, but it's known, and
I'm sure he's known as Peter.
Peter. He'll definitely be known as Peter now.
Just no Paul and Mary.
We just nailed it.
Dun-dun.
Again, but for the third time, punny.
So is that it for news this week?
That's going to do it for news, and I'm
nailed to it. Wow, we just got to stop.
Yeah.
It's time for Producer Jay's
Cat Story of the Week.
I wonder if we could get an a cappella version of that.
Wasn't that a cappella enough? That's pretty a cappella.
Well, like a Glee version.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No.
Can we get Leah Michelle to do it?
No.
She's hot.
Sure. Maybe she could dress up like one, too. Maybe we get the cast.
Yeah.
When does Cats come to, like, the Gamage or someplace? Maybe we get all the cats to come in for Cat Story of the Week.
Oh, there we go. Boy, Cat Story exclusive.
I'd even go to Gamage. I'd find a way to do this.
I would go to see Cats just to do a Cat Story of the Week.
Wow. You're committed.
I am committed.
You're a cat committed. What is this week's Cat Story of the Week?
While I am cat committed, others are committed to other things like placing the blame on certain cats out there because that's what consumers and Dell themselves are doing, because certain laptops that Dell manufactured, they made these laptops smelling more or less of cat urine on certain models of laptops.
How'd they make that happen?
Well, let me tell you. In the manufacturing process, Dell used certain materials that somehow
were used to make meth.
Were used.
Just what cat pee smells like, right?
Hey, take it easy, Heisenberg.
Sorry.
It smelled like a cat sprayed on it. So one of.
Sorry. I've been having withdrawals lately, anyway.
Yeah.
My bad.
Hey, whatever satisfies your Breaking Bad Jones.
Exactly. If I can revert any story back to manufacturing meth, which then leads me back to Breaking Bad, I will not hesitate. So cats peed on laptop parts?
That's what people thought they did, because some people thought that they manufactured these laptops right next to a
cat pee factory.
To a cat pee factory. Do they even have those?
I would.
Maybe it's
that would be the best place to make a meth lab.
Hey, there you go.
Right next to the cat pee factory.
So some of the recommended solutions initially were to clean the laptop air vents with compressed air. That didn't work.
Febreze?
Actually, yeah, someone did try to Febreze it. Naturally, that didn't work.
I think if it heats up and then smells like cat pee, you're probably screwed. You can't really get the cat pee smell out of it.
If any of you have been around, and trust me, I'm an authority on cat pee due to my previous residence, that shit does not go away quietly. Not at all.
What happened with the laptops themselves?
Well, they performed an investigation, and they concluded that the smell didn't come from cats, and there was no health risk. In an official statement, they said the smell is not related to cat urine or any other type of biological contaminant, nor is it a health hazard, Dell support technician Steve B. said.
Good old Steve B.
Good old Steve B. From Dell.
I wonder if they're
going
to. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to replace those though. I mean, if it smells like cat pee every time we fire it up, I can't imagine they'd make you keep it.
Dell's recommending that users affected with the cat pee laptops ship them to Dell and get a replacement.
I guess more to come from the case of the curious laptop.
Actually, I think this is going to pretty much do it. If you got a Dell laptop that smells like cat piss, send it back to them.
You can send it back.
Demand you get it replaced.
Good deal.
That's right.
Is that it for the cat story of the week?
That's going to do it.
So how are you holding up, man?
Much better now than I was earlier in the week.
Well, hang on. We actually have exclusive audio captured from Jay's bathroom earlier this week when he was sick.
Rah, rah, rah,
I think that was part of the projectile.
That had a lot to do with it,
so,
actually.
You feeling all right? Can we keep going forward?
I mean, I feel better now, but last week, I can tell you this, it felt like I had at least 10 shots of wild turkey.
Did you just say wild turkey?
I did say wild turkey.
It leads us very conveniently into Dana's first great moment in food history.
Funny how stuff works out.
Here's another great moment in food history with Danah Palmer.
In 1991, the wild turkeys became protected. And if you ever want to know the difference between a wild turkey and a domestic turkey, wild turkeys can fly and domestic turkeys cannot fly. So if you see turkeys, you can run up to them, try and scare them. If they fly away, they're wild. If they stay put, they're domestic. And you should also probably know that turkeys can have heart attacks. So if they hear loud noises, sometimes they will just keel over and die. I don't recommend this as a technique to kill your Thanksgiving turkey, but you do have options. That's your great moment in food history.
Actually, that's my number one option.
Yeah, no, I think we're just gonna.
I'm gonna go all John Cusack with a boombox and put one of my karaoke blasts and just slaughter me some turkeys.
Just go to a turkey farm and hold that shit up.
Rah, 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 rah. Yep. They'll be dropping like flies.
That's it. I think you found your true calling. It wasn't to sing. It's not to do producing. It's to get enough production into the karaoke that you can kill turkeys.
It's. How did you know?
Yeah, I knew there had to be a subversive. There had to be.
It's always subversive with me, man. It's never
subversive ulterior motives, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's almost time to start winding things down here. Did you have vocal pauses for this week?
Certainly.
Kill it.
Okay, so, okay,
They and it's the but I mean it's very so we
Oh, fuck that. That didn't feel good.
Oh, that's good. I realized
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, the tail end of that was Nikola Tesla's cat, Macaque. And then me just basically dismantling my knee on the table. That was good times.
That was nice. Yeah. Very well done.
All right, so let's shut off the lights and get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah, I got another Stella waiting for me.
There's always another Stella waiting. And we are back to the 11.2 ounce Belgian beer.
So we're all good, right?
Yeah, we've made amends with the Belgians.
Yes.
But that's only until episode 31. So tune in next week for that. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to What About Pod, a part of the Mixed Media Network. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and to follow us on Twitter at What About Pod. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher. Download the Stitcher app today on Android or Apple platforms. This show brought to you by a smashed banana and a Katy Perry blow-up doll. Until next time.
Donau-Dampfschifffahrts-Elektrizitäten Hauptbetriebswerk Bau Unterbeamtengesellschaft.